flute he carried and began to play a soft, calming melody. The echoes in the cave gradually harmonized with his music, creating a soothing and peaceful resonance. The cave's magic was restored, and Finn felt a warm glow from the box in his hand. Task 2: The Enchanted Garden. The second task brought Finn to the Enchanted Garden, an overgrown and forgotten area filled with wilted plants and faded flowers. The garden had once been a place of beauty, but it had lost its magic over the years. To restore it, Finn needed to rekindle the garden's enchantment by tending to it with care and kindness. Finn discovered a set of magical seeds hidden beneath a large, ancient oak tree. He planted the seeds in the garden soil, carefully watering and nurturing them with a special mixture Alolan had given him. As he worked, he spoke to the plants and flowers, sharing stories of his village and the love he had for nature. Gradually, the garden began to bloom with vibrant colors, and the air was filled with the sweet fragrance of flowers once more. The box's light grew brighter, signaling that the task was complete. Task 3: The Heart of the Lake. The final task took Finn to the center of the Whispering Lake, where he needed to unlock the Heart of the Lake, a legendary gem said to hold the essence of the lake's magic. Alolan had told him that the gem was hidden in a submerged grotto, protected by a riddle only a true heart could solve. Finn used a small boat to reach the grotto, which was beneath the lake's surface. Inside the grotto, he found an ornate chest and a riddle inscribed on its lid. The riddle read, "I am not seen but always near, I whisper softly in your ear. To find the heart that lies below, trust your heart and let it show." Finn pondered the riddle and thought about his journey. He realized that the answer was not something he could see but something he felt: trust and love. He placed his hand on the chest and spoke from his heart, expressing his gratitude for the beauty and magic he had discovered. The chest's lid slowly opened, revealing the heart of the lake, a glowing gem that pulsed with a gentle, soothing light. With the heart of the lake uncovered, Finn returned to Alolan. She congratulated him on completing the tasks and thanked him for his bravery and kindness. The Whispering Lake's true magic was now revealed. It had the power to bring peace and harmony to all who visited it with a pure heart. Alolan shared the lake's magic with Finn, giving him a small vial of its essence. This will allow you to carry a part of the lake's magic with you, and it will guide you wherever you go. Finn returned to his village with a heart full of wonder and a deep sense of fulfillment. He shared the story of his adventure and the magic of the Whispering Lake with his friends and family, inspiring them to cherish and protect the beauty and magic in their own lives. And so, the tale of Finn and the Whispering Lake became a cherished story in Silverwood, a reminder that true magic lies in the courage, wisdom, and compassion found within each of us. The lake continued to whisper its tales to those who visited with open hearts, forever guarding its secrets and spreading its enchantment throughout the land. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, there lived a kind-hearted young woman named Eliza. The village was known for its cheerful people and vibrant festivals, but there was one thing that always troubled Eliza. She often heard tales of a magical lantern that could make lost dreams come true, but it had been missing for generations. The lantern was said to have been crafted by the Moonlit Weaver, a mysterious figure who lived in a hidden grove deep within the Whispering Forest. The lantern was made of crystal and silver and had the power to light up the darkest paths and bring hope to those who had lost their way. One crisp autumn evening, Eliza was sitting by the river, her thoughts drifting to the tales she had heard. She sighed deeply, wishing she could find the lantern and bring hope to those who had given up on their dreams. As if in answer to her wish, a soft, glowing light appeared before her. It was a small, golden firefly with wings that shimmered like stardust. The firefly spoke in a gentle, musical voice. "Eliza, I have heard your wish. The lantern of lost dreams has been hidden away for many years, and the Moonlit Weaver has long awaited someone with a pure heart to find it. I will guide you to the Whispering Forest, but be prepared, for the journey will test your courage and kindness." With renewed hope, Eliza followed the firefly into the Whispering Forest. The forest was alive with whispering leaves and glowing fungi. As they ventured deeper, the trees seemed to come alive, their branches stretching and swaying as if guiding them. The firefly led Eliza through the maze of ancient oaks and along winding paths lit by moonlight. Suddenly, they arrived at a shimmering pool surrounded by enchanting, glowing flowers. At the center of the pool stood a small island with a single, ancient oak tree. Hanging from one of the tree's branches was a golden lantern, glowing softly. Eliza's heart leapt with joy, but as she reached for the lantern, the ground trembled, and a figure emerged from the shadows. It was the Moonlit Weaver, cloaked in robes that sparkled like the night sky. "You have found the Lantern of Lost Dreams," the Weaver said. "But to claim it, you must prove that your heart is truly pure. There are 3 challenges you must face." Eliza nodded bravely, ready to face whatever trials lay ahead. The Moonlit Weaver raised his hand, and the first challenge appeared, a labyrinth of brambles and thorns. The thorns were sharp, and the labyrinth was twisted and confusing. As Eliza carefully made her way through, she saw others who had tried and failed. Some were frightened, others were disheartened. With kindness and patience, she helped them find their way out, and in return, they offered her guidance through the labyrinth. The second challenge was a river of shimmering mist. The mist was thick and disorienting, making it hard to see. As Eliza stepped into the mist, she heard whispers of doubt and fear trying to cloud her mind. Remembering the lantern's purpose, she focused on her own dreams and the dreams of those she had helped, pushing through the mist with determination and clarity. For the third and final challenge, the Moonlit Weaver presented a mirror that reflected not just her image but her deepest fears and regrets. Eliza gazed into the mirror and saw her own doubts and insecurities. But as she looked deeper, she realized that these were not the true measure of her worth. She understood that her strength lay in her kindness and her willingness to help others. With a deep breath, Eliza turned away from the mirror, her heart full of resolve. The Moonlit Weaver smiled and nodded in approval. "You have proven yourself worthy, Eliza. The Lantern of Lost Dreams is yours to take." Eliza took the lantern gently, feeling its warmth and light. As she held it, the lantern's glow grew brighter, and the forest seemed to come alive with a joyous melody. The Moonlit Weaver blessed her and guided her back to the village, where the lantern's magic would bring hope and fulfillment to all who had lost their dreams. Back in Windermere, Eliza used the lantern's light to help those who had given up on their aspirations. She inspired them to believe in their dreams once more and helped them find the courage to pursue them. The village flourished with new ideas, creativity, and renewed hope. The Lantern of Lost Dreams became a cherished symbol of the village's spirit, reminding everyone that with kindness, courage, and perseverance, even the most elusive dreams could be realized. And as for Eliza, she continued to inspire others with her own unwavering belief in the power of dreams and the magic that lies within each heart. And so, the village of Windermere thrived, forever touched by the light of the lantern and the bravery of the kind-hearted young woman who had made a difference in their lives. In a quaint village surrounded by rolling hills and lush forests, there was a meadow that shone with an ethereal glow every full moon. This meadow, known as the Moonlit Meadow, was said to be enchanted, with stories of magical creatures and hidden wonders. The most famous legend told of a hidden treasure buried deep within the meadow, which could only be found by someone pure of heart. The village's most beloved resident was a young girl named Mia. Mia was known for her kindness and her love of nature. She spent her days helping her neighbors and caring for the animals in the forest. Though she had heard the stories about the Moonlit Meadow, she never took them too seriously. That is, until one night, when her beloved grandmother fell ill. The village healer, an old woman named Alara, told Mia that only a rare flower called the starblossom could cure her grandmother. The starblossom was said to bloom only under the light of the full moon and was rumored to be hidden in the Moonlit Meadow. Determined to find the flower, Mia set out one evening as the moon began to rise. She walked through the forest, guided by the soft glow of the moonlight. As she reached the edge of the meadow, she was greeted by a magical sight. The grass sparkled as if dusted with stardust, and fireflies danced in the air, creating a twinkling light show. Mia stepped into the meadow, her heart full of hope and worry. As she ventured deeper, she noticed that the meadow seemed to change with every step she took. Paths appeared and vanished, and the flowers glowed brighter as she moved closer to the center. Suddenly, a soft voice echoed through the meadow. "Who dares to enter the moonlit meadow?" The voice belonged to a wise old owl perched on a branch of an ancient oak tree. The owl's eyes gleamed with a warm, golden light. "I am Mia," she said, "and I seek the star blossom to help my grandmother. Can you guide me?" The owl, named Orion, fluttered his wings thoughtfully. "Many have come seeking the star blossom, but few have succeeded. To find it, you must pass 3 trials. Only then will the path to the flower be revealed." Mia nodded, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The first trial was to cross a shimmering lake filled with mystical fog. Orion explained that the fog was enchanted to confuse travelers, making it difficult to find the way. To succeed, Mia needed to follow the light of the moon reflected on the water. As Mia stepped onto the lake, the fog began to swirl around her. She focused on the moonlight, which glowed brighter and steadier as she approached the center of the lake. Her determination and faith guided her, and she reached the other side safely. The second trial was a maze of towering hedges that seemed to shift and change. Orion told her that the maze was filled with illusions and deceptive paths. To navigate through, Mia needed to rely on her intuition and trust in her own heart. With patience and a clear mind, Mia made her way through the maze. She listened to the whispers of the wind and the rustling of the leaves, guiding her steps. After what felt like hours, she emerged from the maze, feeling a sense of accomplishment. The final trial was the most challenging. Mia had to climb a steep hill that led to a glowing, crystal cave. Inside the cave, there was a shimmering pool of water that held the final clue. The challenge was to retrieve a crystal from the bottom of the pool, but the water was enchanted to resist anyone who was not pure of heart. Mia took a deep breath and waded into the pool. As she reached the bottom, the water grew still and clear. She found the crystal and lifted it from the pool, feeling a sense of warmth and light envelop her. With the crystal in hand, Mia made her way back to the center of the meadow. There, the moonlight revealed a hidden grove, and in the center of the grove, bathed in silver light, was the star blossom. Its petals sparkled like stars, and its fragrance filled the air with a soothing aroma. Mia carefully picked the star blossom and thanked the moonlit meadow for its guidance. As she left the meadow, the magical creatures and the moonlight seemed to bid her farewell, their soft voices a gentle reminder of the enchantment she had experienced. Returning to her village, Mia presented the star blossom to Alara. The healer carefully prepared the remedy, and soon, Mia's grandmother began to recover. The village rejoiced, and Mia was hailed as a hero. The tale of Mia and the moonlit meadow became a cherished story in the village, reminding everyone of the magic that could be found in the world and the power of a pure heart. The moonlit meadow remained a place of wonder and beauty, a testament to the courage and kindness of a young girl who ventured into the magical forest to save the one she loved. And so, Mia continued to live her life with the same kindness and bravery, knowing that the magic of the moonlit meadow was always with her, guiding her on every step of her journey. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where the sky was always painted with the soft hues of dawn and dusk, there lay a hidden valley called Starlight Glade. This valley was a magical place where flowers glowed under the moonlight and the air was filled with the scent of sweet dreams. The valley was protected by a gentle spirit named Alara, who was known as the keeper of the starflower. The starflower was the heart of Starlight Glade, a magical bloom that shone like 1,000 tiny stars and kept the valley bathed in a warm, comforting light. Alara loved the starflower dearly and ensured that it was always tended to with great care. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, Alara noticed that the starflower's light was dimming. The once brilliant glow was fading, and the valley seemed to lose some of its magic. Alara knew that if the starflower's light went out completely, Starlight Glade would lose its enchantment forever. Determined to save the valley, Alara consulted the ancient Moonbeam Scroll, which contained the wisdom of ages. According to the scroll, the starflower's light could be restored by finding 3 rare ingredients hidden in different corners of the realm. Each ingredient had the power to renew the magic of the starflower. Alara set out on her quest, beginning with the first ingredient, the Moonbeam Dew. This dew was said to be found in the Crystal Lake, a shimmering body of water that mirrored the night sky. To reach the lake, Elara had to cross the Whispering Woods, where the trees were known to speak in riddles. As she ventured into the woods, she encountered a talking oak tree named Grandfather Oak. "To find the Moonbeam Dew," said Grandfather Oak, "you must solve my riddle. Only then will the way to Crystal Lake be revealed." Grandfather Oak posed the riddle: "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Elara thought carefully and answered, "A joke." Grandfather Oak's leaves rustled with approval. "You are wise. Follow the path where the fireflies lead you, and you will find the Crystal Lake." Following the glowing path, Elara reached the Crystal Lake. The surface of the lake sparkled with the reflection of the moon, and the moonbeam dew was collected from the water's edge in a silver vial. Next, Elara sought the second ingredient, the echoing blossom, which was said to grow in the Garden of Echoes. This garden was hidden within a maze of towering mountains, and its entrance was guarded by a mythical phoenix named Seraphina. Seraphina greeted Elara with a fiery gaze. "To obtain the echoing blossom, you must prove your courage by braving the maze and retrieving a single bloom from the heart of the garden." Elara, heart pounding with excitement, entered the maze. The paths twisted and turned, but she remained focused, trusting her instincts. After navigating the labyrinth, she found the echoing blossom glowing softly in the center of the garden. Its petals shimmered with colors that changed with each movement. With the second ingredient in hand, Elara prepared for the final part of her quest. The last ingredient was the dream seed, said to be hidden in the enchanted meadow, a place where dreams were said to come alive. The meadow was guarded by a gentle, dream-weaving unicorn named Luna. Luna greeted Elara with a serene smile. "To find the dream seed, you must help a dream in need. Only then will the seed reveal itself to you." As Elara wandered through the meadow, she saw a dream catcher that was tangled and unable to catch any dreams. She carefully untangled the dream catcher and set it back in its proper place. As she did, a soft, glowing seed appeared at her feet. With all three ingredients, moonbeam dew, echoing blossom, and dream seed, Elara returned to Starlight Glade. The starflower's light had dimmed further, and the valley seemed to be losing its enchantment. Elara carefully mixed the ingredients together, following the instructions from the moonbeam scroll. As she did, the mixture began to glow with a radiant light. She poured the mixture over the starflower, and its petals began to shimmer with renewed brilliance. The starflower's light grew stronger, casting a warm, golden glow across the valley. The flowers and trees in Starlight Glade seemed to come back to life, and the magic of the valley was restored. The inhabitants of Starlight Glade, fairies, sprites, and magical creatures, gathered to celebrate Elara's bravery and dedication. The valley was once again a place of wonder and enchantment, all thanks to Elara's quest to save the starflower. And so, the tale of Elara and the starflower became a cherished legend, a reminder of the magic that lives within courage, kindness, and the light of a single, shining flower. Under the twinkling sky of Starlight Glade, the starflower continued to bloom brightly, casting its gentle light across the land and filling it with dreams and wonder for all who dwelled there. Once upon a time, nestled between misty hills and rolling meadows, there was a small village called Brookhaven. The village was known for its gentle folk and peaceful life, but it held a deep secret, a tale of a forgotten kingdom, a land of magic and splendor that had vanished from the world many years ago. The story spoke of an enchanted lantern that could reveal the forgotten kingdom to those with a pure heart and noble intentions. This lantern, with its intricate patterns and glowing light, was said to be hidden in the forest, awaiting someone worthy to find it and restore the kingdom's lost magic. In Brookhaven lived a curious and kind-hearted girl named Arya. Arya had always been fascinated by the legends of the Forgotten Kingdom. Every evening, she would sit by the fireplace with her grandmother, listening to tales of enchanted realms and heroic quests. One stormy night, as the wind howled and rain tapped against the window, Arya found an old, dusty lantern in the attic, tucked away among forgotten trinkets. The lantern was adorned with shimmering stars and moons, and when Arya touched it, it glowed softly, casting a warm light. Remembering the tales, Arya's heart raced. Could this be the enchanted lantern from the legend? Determined to uncover the truth, Arya set off into the forest with the lantern in hand. The rain had stopped, and a silvery mist hung in the air. Guided by the lantern's soft glow, she ventured deeper into the forest than she had ever gone before. After hours of walking, Arya arrived at a clearing where the lantern's light grew brighter, revealing an ancient archway covered in ivy and moss. The archway led to a hidden path that shimmered with magical energy. Arya stepped through the archway, and the world around her seemed to change. The forest gave way to a breathtaking landscape of floating islands, glittering waterfalls, and sparkling meadows. She had found the Forgotten Kingdom. As Arya explored the kingdom, she noticed that it was both beautiful and desolate, as if time had stood still. The kingdom's magic seemed dormant, and its enchanting creatures were nowhere to be seen. At the heart of the kingdom stood a grand palace, its spires reaching towards the sky and its halls echoing with silence. Inside the palace, Arya encountered a regal figure, a queen with a crown of starlight and eyes like the night sky. The queen introduced herself as Queen Lyra, the last ruler of the Forgotten Kingdom. "Welcome, brave Arya," Queen Lyra said with a voice that was both melancholy and hopeful. "You have found our kingdom and awakened the lantern's magic. To restore our land's enchantment, you must complete 3 tasks. Each task will test your heart and spirit." Arya nodded, ready to take on the challenge. "What must I do?" Task 1, the Withered Garden. Queen Lyra led Arya to a once vibrant garden where flowers had withered and trees stood barren. The garden's magic had been lost due to a curse of sadness. To restore the garden, Arya had to plant a special seed and care for it with love and patience. She found the seed in a golden pouch and planted it in the center of the garden. With tender care, she watered it and sang to it. As she did, the garden began to bloom with vibrant colors, and the trees regained their lush foliage. Task 2, the Crystal Lake. The second task took Arya to a crystal-clear lake that had become dark and murky. The lake's magic had been clouded by a spell of sorrow. Arya discovered that the lake's waters could be cleansed by sharing a heartfelt story. She sat by the lake and recounted tales of joy, hope, and friendship from her village. As her stories flowed, the waters began to sparkle once more, reflecting the clear, radiant light of the sky. Task 3, the Enchanted Fountain. The final task brought Arya to a grand fountain in the palace courtyard. The fountain had once been a source of pure, magical water but had run dry. To restore it, Arya needed to fill it with a special elixir made from the essence of hope and dreams. She discovered that the elixir could be created by mixing moonlight with a drop of her own tears of happiness. Arya collected moonlight in a crystal vial and added a single tear. When she poured the elixir into the fountain, it began to flow with shimmering, magical water. With all tasks completed, the Forgotten Kingdom's magic was fully restored. The land came alive with vibrant colors, enchanting creatures, and a renewed sense of wonder. Queen Lyra thanked Arya for her bravery and kindness. "You have brought back the magic of our kingdom," Queen Lyra said. "As a token of our gratitude, we wish to offer you a gift." Queen Lyra presented Arya with a beautifully carved box. Inside was a magical gem that would allow Arya to visit the Forgotten Kingdom whenever she wished. The gem's light would guide her back to the land of enchantment. Arya returned to Brookhaven, her heart filled with joy and wonder. She shared the story of her adventure and the magic of the Forgotten Kingdom with her village. The enchanted lantern was placed in a special place, and the tale of Arya's bravery and the kingdom's revival became a cherished legend in Brookhaven. And so, the legend of the enchanted lantern and the Forgotten Kingdom lived on, a reminder that even the most hidden magic could be discovered by those with a pure heart and a spirit of adventure. The kingdom flourished once more, and its beauty was shared with the world, inspiring future generations to seek out their own wonders and embrace the magic within their hearts. Once upon a time, in a bustling village where the streets echoed with the sound of laughter and the clattering of horse-drawn carts, there lived a humble clockmaker named Mr. Heron. Mr. Heron was a master of his craft, known far and wide for creating the most beautiful clocks, ones that not only told time but captured moments of joy in their gentle chimes. He had a daughter named Isla, a clever girl with a heart as curious as it was kind. Isla loved to watch her father work, the whirring gears and ticking hands of the clocks mesmerizing her. Every day, she'd sit beside him, asking questions about how time moved and why the clocks ticked the way they did. One evening, as the stars began to sparkle over the village, a mysterious customer came to their shop. He was cloaked in a deep green robe, and though his face was hidden beneath a hood, his voice was rich and melodic. "I hear you are the best clockmaker in the land," the stranger said to Mr. Heron. "I need a clock, but not an ordinary one. I need a clock that can stop time, if only for a moment." Mr. Heron was taken aback. "A clock that can stop time?" he asked. "Such a thing is beyond any craftsman's skill." The stranger's eyes gleamed beneath his hood. "Perhaps. But you may find the magic within if you search deep enough." With that, the stranger left a small, intricately carved silver key on the counter. "This is for the clock you will make," he said before vanishing into the night. Mr. Heron was unsettled by the stranger's request, but Isla was filled with excitement. "Father," she whispered, "what if we could make such a clock? What if there's a way to harness time itself?" Mr. Heron, though reluctant, couldn't deny Isla's eagerness. Together, they began to work on the clock, using their finest gears and materials. But no matter what they did, they couldn't figure out how to create a clock that could stop time. One night, while Mr. Heron slept, Isla sat alone in the workshop, gazing at the unfinished clock. In the dim light, the silver key the stranger had left seemed to glow faintly. Curious, Isla took the key and held it to the clock's face, turning it gently. To her amazement, the clock began to glow, and the ticking sound grew louder. Then, suddenly, everything around her stopped: the breeze outside, the flickering candlelight, even the ticking of the other clocks in the workshop. Time itself had frozen. For a moment, Isla stood in awe. She had stopped time. But then she heard a soft voice behind her. "Well done, Isla," said the voice. She turned to see the mysterious stranger standing in the doorway, now with his hood drawn back, revealing a kind face with silver hair and deep green eyes. "Who are you?" Isla asked, still holding the silver key in her hand. "I am a guardian of time," the stranger explained. "I sought out your father, but it was you I truly needed. You have the heart and mind to control time, even if just for a moment. But remember, time is delicate. It cannot be paused for too long, or there will be consequences." Isla nodded, still overwhelmed by the power she held. The stranger continued, "There will come a time when you must decide whether to use this gift again. When that moment comes, listen to your heart." With those words, the stranger vanished, leaving Isla alone in the stillness. The next morning, time resumed as usual, and Isla didn't tell her father about what had happened. She kept the silver key hidden in her pocket and continued helping him with the clocks, all the while knowing that she held a secret, a powerful gift that could only be used when truly necessary. Years passed, and the village continued to thrive. Isla grew older, becoming a skilled clockmaker like her father. But one day, trouble came to their peaceful village. A terrible storm struck, flooding the rivers and causing chaos. People were left without homes, and there wasn't enough time to rebuild before winter came. The villagers gathered in the square, desperate for a solution, but none could think of a way to fix the damage in time. As Isla listened to their pleas, she felt the weight of the silver key in her pocket. She remembered the stranger's words, "There will come a time when you must decide whether to use this gift again." With her heart pounding, Isla made her decision. That night, when the moon was high, she went to the village clock tower. She climbed to the top, where the great clock that overlooked the town stood tall, its hands ticking steadily toward the future. With the silver key in her hand, Isla inserted it into the face of the clock and turned it. The clock stopped ticking, and once again, time froze. For days, while the rest of the world remained frozen, Isla worked tirelessly with her father and the villagers. They rebuilt the homes, mended the bridges, and prepared the village for the coming winter. Though the sun never rose during this time, Isla felt a sense of peace as they worked together, knowing that when time resumed, the village would be safe. At last, when the work was done, Isla returned to the clock tower. She took a deep breath and turned the silver key once more. Time began to flow again. The villagers blinked, unaware that anything had happened. To them, no time had passed at all, but their village was now safe and ready for winter. Mr. Heron looked around in awe. "How is this possible?" he asked, turning to Isla. Isla smiled gently and handed him the silver key. "Sometimes, time gives us a second chance." From that day on, Isla's secret remained safe, and the village prospered. She kept the silver key hidden, knowing that it was not the key itself but the heart that chose when to use it that truly mattered. And so, the enchanted clockmaker's daughter became a legend in her village, remembered not for her power to stop time, but for her wisdom to use it when it was needed most. And they all lived happily ever after. In a secluded corner of the world, hidden away from the bustling cities and noisy towns, lay a mystical forest known as Starlight Grove. The grove was a place of wonder, where the trees shimmered with the light of countless stars, and the air was filled with the soft, melodious songs of magical creatures. It was said that the grove held a secret, a magical artifact known as the Star Heart, which could grant one true wish to anyone who found it. The story of the Star Heart was known to all, but few had ever ventured into the grove, as it was guarded by enchantments and the enigmatic creatures of the forest. Among those who knew of the legend was a kind-hearted girl named Lily. Lily lived in a small village on the edge of the forest and was known for her generosity and bravery. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, a fierce storm rolled in. The winds howled, and lightning split the sky. When the storm finally passed, the villagers awoke to find their crops and homes devastated. The once lush fields were now barren, and the river that ran through the village was reduced to a trickle. The villagers were in despair, for they had no way to restore their land. It was then that Lily remembered the tale of the Star Heart. If the Star Heart's magic was real, it might be their only hope to restore their village and save their home. Determined, Lily set out for the Starlight Grove at dawn. She walked through the forest's edge, where the trees were thick and the path uncertain. The deeper she went, the more magical the forest became. Tiny lights flickered among the leaves, and the ground beneath her feet seemed to sparkle. As Lily ventured further, she came across a gentle fawn named Thorn. Thorn had the body of a man and the legs and horns of a goat. He was playing a lyre made of moonbeams, and his music brought a sense of calm to the storm-tossed forest. "Hello, traveler," Thorn greeted her. "What brings you to the heart of Starlight Grove?" Lily explained her quest and the plight of her village. Thorn listened attentively and then nodded. "The Star Heart is indeed a powerful artifact, but finding it requires great courage and wisdom. The grove is filled with magical trials that test those who seek it." Thorn agreed to guide Lily through the first trial. They arrived at a sparkling pond, where the water was as clear as glass. At the center of the pond was a small island with a single, glowing tree. The tree's fruit was said to be the key to the next step in the quest. To reach the island, Lily needed to cross the pond, but the water was enchanted and constantly shifting. Thorn handed Lily a small, shimmering stone. "This is a compass stone. It will help you find the safe path across the pond." Following Thorn's advice, Lily tossed the stone into the water. It floated, glowing brightly and creating a path of light. Lily carefully stepped along the glowing path, and though the waters swirled around her, she remained steady. When she reached the island, she picked one of the glowing fruits from the tree. With the fruit in hand, Lily and Thorn continued their journey. They soon arrived at a meadow where the ground was covered in flowers that changed colors with every step. The second trial was a test of patience and kindness. A group of mischievous pixies played tricks on them, trying to make Lily lose her way. Instead of becoming frustrated, Lily offered to share the fruit she had picked with the pixies. The pixies, touched by her kindness, guided her through the meadow and revealed the path to the next challenge. The third trial was the Labyrinth of Echoes, a maze filled with mirrors and illusions. Lily had to navigate through the maze, following the echoes of her own voice. At first, the echoes confused her, but she soon realized that the true path was not to follow the echoes but to trust her own instincts. With Thorn's guidance and her own intuition, Lily found her way out of the labyrinth and into a beautiful, moonlit glade. In the center of the glade was the Starheart, a magnificent crystal that glowed with a soft, golden light. As Lily approached the Starheart, she was met by a guardian spirit of the grove, a majestic being with wings like silver feathers. "You have passed the trials with bravery and kindness," the spirit said. "You may now make your wish." Lily took a deep breath and made her wish. "I wish for the restoration of my village and the return of the prosperity we once had." The Starheart's light intensified, and a wave of magic spread across the grove. Lily felt a warm, comforting energy envelop her. When she returned to her village, she found that the fields were lush and green again, the river was flowing strong, and the village was bustling with life. The villagers rejoiced, their hearts filled with gratitude for Lily's courage and the magic of the Starheart. Lily became a hero in her village, celebrated for her bravery and selflessness. The tale of Lily and the Starheart became a cherished story, passed down through generations. The Starlight Grove remained a place of wonder and magic. And the villagers of Everwood continued to live in harmony, forever grateful for the girl who ventured into the enchanted forest and restored their home with a pure heart and a selfless wish. The end. Once upon a time, in a village nestled between rolling hills and a shimmering lake, lived a young girl named Lila. Lila had the most beautiful garden in the entire village. Her garden was filled with flowers of every color imaginable, roses as red as rubies, tulips as yellow as the sun, and violets as deep as the ocean. People came from far and wide to see her garden, amazed by its beauty and the sweet fragrance that filled the air. Lila's secret was simple: she loved her garden with all her heart. She spent hours each day tending to her flowers, talking to them as if they were her friends, and singing sweet melodies that made them bloom even brighter. But there was one part of her garden that was different. In the center, there was a small patch of bare earth, surrounded by a ring of stones. No matter how much Lila tried, nothing would grow there. One day, as Lila was working in her garden, an old woman appeared at the gate. She was dressed in rags, and her hair was as white as snow. Her eyes sparkled with a mysterious light. "Good day, dear child," the old woman said with a kind smile. "I have traveled far and wide, and I am tired. May I rest in your beautiful garden?" Lila, always kind and generous, welcomed the old woman into her garden. She offered her a seat in the shade and brought her cool water to drink. As the old woman rested, she watched Lila work. "You have a gift, my child," she said. "Your garden is the most beautiful I have ever seen. But tell me, why is that patch of earth empty?" Lila sighed and looked at the bare spot. "I don't know," she said. "I have tried everything, but nothing will grow there. It's as if the earth has lost its magic." The old woman nodded thoughtfully. "Perhaps it's not the earth that needs magic, but the one who tends to it," she said mysteriously. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a tiny, glowing seed. It shimmered with all the colors of the rainbow, casting a soft light around it. "This is a seed from the enchanted garden of Lumina," the old woman explained. "It is a place where magic still lives, hidden from the eyes of the world. Plant this seed in the center of your garden, and you will see wonders beyond your imagination. But remember, magic requires more than just planting. It needs love, kindness, and a pure heart." Lila took the seed, feeling its warmth in her hand. She thanked the old woman, who smiled and quietly slipped away, disappearing down the road. That evening, as the sun set and the stars began to twinkle in the sky, Lila went to the center of her garden. She knelt on the ground, dug a small hole, and carefully planted the glowing seed. She covered it with earth and gently patted it down. Then, she stood and began to sing a lullaby, a sweet, soothing song her mother had sung to her when she was a child. As Lila sang, something incredible happened. The seed began to glow brighter and brighter. A soft light spread from the ground, illuminating the garden with a magical glow. The bare patch of earth started to transform. Tiny shoots sprouted from the soil, growing taller and stronger with each note of Lila's psalm. Within moments, a magnificent tree stood in the center of the garden. Its branches were covered in blossoms that sparkled like stars, and its leaves shimmered with a golden hue. The tree's beauty was beyond words. It was unlike anything Lila had ever seen. But as she gazed at the tree, she noticed something even more wonderful. The tree's blossoms began to drift down like snowflakes, and wherever they touched the ground, flowers bloomed, flowers of every color, size, and shape. They spread across the garden, filling the air with the sweetest fragrance. The garden was more vibrant and alive than ever before. News of Lila's magical garden spread quickly. People from distant lands came to see the wonder for themselves. They marveled at the glowing tree and the endless sea of flowers that surrounded it. They spoke of the girl with the pure heart who had brought magic back to the land. Lila welcomed everyone with open arms, sharing her garden's beauty and joy. One day, a young boy from the village came to see Lila's garden. His name was Finn, and he had always been quiet and shy. He had never seen anything as beautiful as Lila's garden. As he stood there, watching the petals float down like snow, a single tear rolled down his cheek. Lila noticed him and approached. "Why are you sad?" she asked gently. Finn looked up at Lila, his eyes filled with sadness. "I am not sad," he said softly. "I am just overwhelmed. I have never seen such beauty. I have always felt alone and different, but here, I feel like I belong." Lila smiled and placed a hand on his shoulder. "You are not alone, Finn," she said. "This garden is for everyone. Its magic is not just in the flowers and the tree, but in the joy it brings to others. You are always welcome here." From that day on, Finn visited Lila's garden every day. He helped her tend to the flowers, sang songs with her, and together they made the garden even more beautiful. The tree in the center grew taller, its branches spreading wide, offering shade and comfort to all who came. The garden became a place of peace, where people from all walks of life could come and find solace, joy, and a sense of belonging. Years passed, and Lila's garden flourished. The village prospered, and the people were happy. The enchanted garden of Lumina, hidden in Lila's small garden, became a symbol of hope and kindness. It reminded everyone that true magic comes from a loving heart, a generous spirit, and the willingness to share joy with others. And so, the garden lived on, a timeless reminder that love and kindness are the seeds from which the most beautiful flowers grow, and that the magic of the heart can transform even the most barren place into a paradise. Lila and Finn grew up, but they never forgot the lessons of the garden. They tended to it together, sharing its beauty and magic with everyone. And in the heart of their garden, under the shade of the glowing tree, the magic of Lumina lived on, forever spreading light and joy to all. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between the rolling hills and vast, shimmering lakes, there was a little village called Glimmering Vale. The village was known for its extraordinary night skies, where stars twinkled more brightly than anywhere else in the world. This magical phenomenon was due to the Star Keeper, a mystical being who watched over the stars and ensured their light never waned. The Star Keeper, known as Celeste, was a graceful, ethereal figure who lived in a magnificent palace made of moonlight and stardust, high in the celestial mountains. Celeste had a very special job. Every night, she would carefully adjust the stars, making sure their light reached every corner of the kingdom, providing comfort and guidance to all who gazed upon them. In Glimmering Vale, a kind-hearted young girl named Elara admired the night sky more than anyone. She loved to lay on the grass and gaze up at the twinkling stars, dreaming of one day visiting the Star Keeper and discovering the secrets of the night sky. Elara had a deep wish. She wanted to bring light and hope to her village, which had been troubled by a long period of darkness and uncertainty. One evening, as Elara stargazed from her favorite hilltop, a soft, silvery voice spoke to her. "Elara, your wish is noble and true. If you seek to bring light to your village, you must journey to the celestial mountains and ask the Star Keeper for a special gift." Filled with excitement and determination, Elara set out on her journey the next morning. She packed a small satchel with provisions and began her climb up the celestial mountains. The path was steep and challenging, but Elara's resolve kept her going. After days of arduous travel, Elara reached the gates of Celeste's palace. The gates, adorned with constellations and shimmering with stardust, opened before her as if by magic. Elara stepped into the palace, where the walls sparkled with 1,000 stars, and she was greeted by the Star Keeper herself. Celeste was as radiant as the night sky, her flowing gown made of shimmering constellations. "Welcome, Elara," Celeste said with a warm smile. "I have heard your wish. What is it that you seek?" Elara took a deep breath and spoke from her heart. "I wish to bring light and hope to my village. Our people have been struggling with darkness, and I believe that if I could bring a piece of the magic from the night sky to them, it would lift their spirits and guide them through their troubles." Celeste's eyes sparkled with understanding. "The magic of the stars is powerful and can bring much joy and hope. I will grant you a special gift, but you must promise to use it with care and kindness." With a wave of her hand, Celeste summoned a small, glowing star from the heavens. The star was delicate and brilliant, pulsating with a warm, golden light. She placed it into a crystal vial and handed it to Elara. "This is the Star of Hope," Celeste explained. "It holds the light of 1,000 stars. When you release its magic, it will illuminate the darkest corners and bring hope to those in need. Remember, its power is strongest when used with a pure heart." Elara thanked Celeste and carefully carried the vial down the mountains. As she descended, the journey back felt lighter and brighter, as if the very air around her was infused with hope. When Elara arrived in Glimmering Vale, the village was shrouded in a veil of twilight. The people greeted her with eager eyes, and Elara gathered everyone in the village square. With a sense of reverence, she opened the vial and released the Star of Hope into the night sky. The moment the star's light touched the heavens, it burst into a brilliant, cascading glow. The entire village was bathed in a warm, golden light that spread far and wide. The once dark sky was now filled with a dazzling display of colors and twinkling stars. The villagers marveled at the transformation. They felt a renewed sense of joy and hope, their spirits lifted by the magical light that now graced their village. The once troubled land was now vibrant and full of life, and the darkness that had weighed them down was dispelled by the star's brilliance. Elara's heart swelled with happiness as she watched her village celebrate. The Star of Hope continued to shine in the sky, a constant reminder of the magic and light that could overcome even the darkest times. From that night on, Glimmering Vale thrived under the light of the Star of Hope. The villagers cherished the star's magic and passed down the tale of Elara's journey and the Star Keeper's gift. The story became a cherished part of their heritage, reminding them of the power of hope, kindness, and the enduring magic of the night sky. And so, Glimmering Vale remained a beacon of light and joy, forever touched by the gift of the Star Keeper and the bravery of a young girl who dared to wish for a brighter world. Once upon a time, in a land of eternal twilight, there was a hidden glen known as Luminera. Luminera was a magical forest where fireflies danced in the dusky light and flowers glowed softly under the moon's gaze. This enchanted place was ruled by the Firefly Queen, a luminous and graceful being named Elara. She was tasked with ensuring the balance of light and dark in the forest, and her most precious duty was to protect the Midnight Blossom, a rare flower that only bloomed once every 100 years under the full moon. The Midnight Blossom was said to possess extraordinary powers. It could bring peace to troubled hearts, heal the gravest of ailments, and even grant a single wish to those who truly needed it. Elara guarded the blossom with great care, knowing that its magic could be both wondrous and perilous if misused. One evening, as the full moon approached, Elara prepared for the blossom's rare bloom. She lit lanterns of stardust, arranged the petals of protective flowers around the Midnight Blossom, and summoned the forest creatures to keep watch. But as the night grew deeper, a strange shadow fell over Luminera. A dark figure emerged from the trees, a sorcerer named Morven, whose heart was consumed by greed and envy. Morven had heard of the Midnight Blossom's powers and desired it for himself. His goal was to use the flower's magic to control the entire forest and bend it to his will. As the moonlight reached its peak, Morven stealthily approached the blossom, intent on stealing it. Elara sensed the disturbance and, with a flicker of worry in her heart, turned to her loyal fireflies. "We must protect the Midnight Blossom. I fear a great danger approaches." The fireflies, glowing brighter in their determination, formed a protective barrier around the blossom. Morven, however, was cunning and used his dark magic to create illusions that distracted the fireflies and the forest creatures. He moved closer, his fingers reaching for the precious flower. But as Morven was about to grasp the Midnight Blossom, a young girl named Lyra stumbled into the clearing. Lyra was a humble village girl who had wandered into the forest searching for her lost cat. She had no idea of the magical struggle occurring around her. Her innocent presence, however, was about to turn the tide. Lyra's cat, a clever creature named Pip, had followed her into the forest and saw the danger. Pip meowed loudly and darted toward the fireflies, guiding Lyra to the glowing scene. Lyra, realizing the gravity of the situation, felt a surge of courage. She saw the sorcerer's dark intentions and knew she had to help. With a determined heart, Lyra approached Morven and spoke bravely, "You cannot take what does not belong to you. The Midnight Blossom is meant to heal and bring hope, not to control." Morven sneered and tried to push her aside with a wave of his hand, but Lyra stood her ground. "Please, listen. If you truly need something, perhaps there is another way." Elara, observing Lyra's bravery and pure heart, saw a chance to stop Morven without conflict. She fluttered to Lyra and whispered, "You have shown great courage and kindness. If you wish, you may use the Midnight Blossom's magic to help him instead." Lyra, though frightened, nodded. "If there is a way to change his heart and help him find peace, then I will use it." Elara guided Lyra to the Midnight Blossom and instructed her to make a sincere wish for Morven's redemption. Lyra closed her eyes and whispered softly, "I wish for Morven to find the peace he seeks and to use his powers for good." As Lyra spoke, the Midnight Blossom's petals opened wide, releasing a soft, golden light. The light enveloped Morven, and he felt a profound sense of calm and clarity. The darkness in his heart began to dissolve, and he was overwhelmed with remorse for his actions. Morven fell to his knees, tears streaming down his face. "I have been blinded by my own greed. I see now that true power lies in compassion and kindness. Forgive me." Elara, seeing the change in Morven, approached him. "You have been given a chance to change. Use it wisely." Morven stood up, humbled and transformed. He vowed to help protect Luminera and use his magic for the benefit of others. The forest creatures, fireflies, and Elara welcomed him into their fold, and together, they worked to restore harmony to the forest. Lyra, with Pip safely by her side, was celebrated as a hero in Luminera. The Midnight Blossom's magic continued to shine brightly, bringing peace and healing to all who needed it. Elara and the fireflies continued to guard the blossom, ensuring its magic was used for good. And so, the Forest of Whispers thrived, filled with light, hope, and the promise of new beginnings. The tale of the Firefly Queen, the Midnight Blossom, and the brave girl who saved the forest became a cherished story, passed down through generations as a reminder of the power of courage, kindness, and the magic of a pure heart. In a quaint village nestled at the edge of an ancient forest, there was a remarkable tree known as the Whispering Willow. Its branches were said to be enchanted, and it was believed that the tree could grant a single wish to someone with a truly pure heart once every 100 years. The village had long thrived under the protection of the Whispering Willow. Its branches provided shelter and its leaves whispered secrets of the forest to those who sought wisdom. Despite its wonders, the tree's magic was waning, and the village began to notice that its once lush and vibrant surroundings were starting to wither. A young girl named Eloan lived in the village. Eloan was known for her kindness and her love for the forest. She had grown up hearing stories of the Whispering Willow and had always dreamed of seeing it and learning its secrets. One day, as the last golden rays of the setting sun painted the sky, Eloan noticed that the once strong and radiant Whispering Willow seemed to droop and lose its luster. Concerned, she decided to seek out the tree and help restore its magic. Equipped with a small satchel of supplies, Eloan set out on a journey through the forest. The forest was dense and filled with the songs of creatures preparing for nightfall. Guided by the fading light of day and her own determination, she ventured deeper into the woods. After hours of walking, she finally arrived at a secluded glade where the whispering willow stood, its branches swaying weakly in the breeze. The tree's once vivid leaves had turned a dull, silvery gray. As Eloan approached, she heard a faint, sorrowful whisper from the tree. "Help me, young one, before my magic fades entirely." Eloan gently placed her hand on the tree's bark and asked, "What can I do to help you?" The whispering willow responded, "To restore my magic, you must complete 3 tasks that will test your heart and spirit. Only then will I regain my strength." The first task was to retrieve the golden acorn, which was hidden in a clearing guarded by a fierce but noble stag. The stag, with antlers like woven branches, appeared before Eloan and spoke, "To earn the golden acorn, you must answer my riddle." The stag's riddle was, "I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I?" Eloan thought carefully and replied, "A map." The stag nodded approvingly and allowed her to take the golden acorn from beneath a nearby rock. The second task led Eloan to a crystal-clear pond where a delicate water sprite named Lyra resided. Lyra's pond was clouded and dark. "To help me in the whispering willow," Lyra said, "you must find and release the lightstone trapped within the depths of this pond." Eloan dove into the pond, searching through the murky water. After some time, she found the lightstone, a radiant gem that shone brightly even underwater. She carefully brought it back to Lyra, who thanked her and restored the pond to its former clarity. The third and final task took Eloan to the edge of the forest, where a mountain path led to a cave. Inside the cave lived a wise old dragon named Phoenix. Phoenix was known for his knowledge and his fiery breath. To complete this task, Phoenix said, "You must bring me the crystal leaf from the highest peak of the mountain." Eloan climbed the rugged path to the peak, where she found the crystal leaf shimmering in the moonlight. She carefully descended and presented the leaf to Phoenix. The dragon, impressed by her bravery, offered her a blessing and a piece of ancient wisdom. With the golden acorn, the lightstone, and the crystal leaf in hand, Eloan returned to the whispering willow. The tree's branches had grown even weaker, but Eloan placed the items at the base of the tree as instructed. The whispering willow absorbed the magic of the golden acorn, the lightstone, and the crystal leaf. Slowly, its branches began to regain their vibrant color, and the once weak leaves rustled with renewed strength. As the tree's magic was restored, it spoke to Eloan with a voice full of gratitude. "You have completed the tasks with a pure heart and unwavering spirit. For your bravery and kindness, I grant you one wish." Eloan thought for a moment and said, "I wish for the forest and the village to be blessed with prosperity and harmony forever, so that all who live here can thrive in peace." The whispering willow's branches shimmered with a radiant light, and a gentle rain began to fall, nourishing the land. The forest and village flourished once more, the river flowed with clear, sparkling water, and the crops grew lush and bountiful. Eloan returned to her village as a hero. The villagers celebrated her bravery and the restoration of their beloved whispering willow. From that day on, the forest thrived under the watchful gaze of the enchanted tree, and the village of Elderglen prospered in harmony with the magical world around them. And so, the whispering willow continued to whisper its secrets and blessings to those who truly cared for the forest and its wonders, keeping the magic of the land alive for generations to come. In a land where the sky was always painted with brilliant sunsets and the stars shone brightly every night, there was a small village named Lumina. The villagers lived in harmony with nature and celebrated the magic of the stars, believing that their light guided and protected them. At the edge of Lumina, in a cozy, ivy-covered cottage, lived a kind and skilled weaver named Alara. She was known far and wide for her exquisite tapestries that seemed to capture the very essence of the night sky. Her greatest masterpiece was a tapestry she called the Star Weaver's Blanket, said to hold the magic of the stars themselves. One clear evening, as Alara worked by the light of her lantern, a mysterious figure appeared at her door. It was a tall, ethereal woman with shimmering robes and a crown of stars. She introduced herself as Lyra, the Star Guardian. "I have come to ask for your help," Lyra said, her voice as soft as starlight. "The heart of the constellations, a magical crystal that ensures the balance of night and day, has been stolen. Without it, the stars are losing their light, and the balance of our world is in danger." Elara, moved by Lyra's plea, agreed to help. Lyra handed her a small, star-shaped locket and explained that it would guide her to the hidden realm where the heart of the constellations was kept. Elara's task was to find the heart and restore its power. The journey begins with the locket in hand. Elara set off on her journey. The locket glowed faintly, illuminating her path through dark forests and over misty hills. Along the way, she encountered various magical creatures who offered her guidance and wisdom. First, she met a wise old owl named Orion, who told her that the realm of the heart of the constellations was hidden in the Celestial Grove, a mystical place where the stars and earth met. Orion gave Elara a feather that would help her communicate with the creatures of the grove. Next, Elara crossed a shimmering river with the help of a gentle water sprite named Naiad. The sprite guided her across the river and shared a riddle that Elara would need to solve to enter the Celestial Grove. The Celestial Grove. After days of travel, Elara finally reached the Celestial Grove. The grove was filled with trees whose leaves sparkled like stars and flowers that glowed in the dark. The air was filled with a soothing, melodic hum. Elara used the feather Orion had given her to speak with the creatures of the grove. She learned that the heart of the constellations was hidden in the grove center, guarded by a fierce dragon named Draconis. The dragon was known for his fiery breath and sharp claws, but he was also bound by a deep sense of duty to protect the heart. To gain Draconis's trust, Elara had to complete a series of tasks designed to prove her worthiness. The first task was to gather stardust from the tallest tree in the grove. The tree's branches were high, but Elara climbed with determination, her heart full of hope. The second task was to help a family of fireflies who had lost their way. Elara used the soft light of her lantern to guide them back to their home, showing her kindness and compassion. The final challenge. Elara then faced Draconis, who stood guard over the heart of the constellations. The dragon was intimidating, but Elara approached him with respect and explained her mission. She shared the story of how the heart's theft was affecting the world and how important it was to restore its balance. Draconis, impressed by Elara's bravery and sincerity, agreed to let her take the heart. He revealed that the true challenge was not in taking the heart but in understanding its significance. The heart was not just a crystal but a symbol of balance and unity between the stars and the earth. Restoring the balance, Elara carefully carried the heart back to Lumina, guided by the locket's light. When she arrived, the village was shrouded in darkness, and the stars seemed to flicker weakly. Elara placed the heart in the center of the village square, where it began to glow with a powerful, radiant light. As the heart's light spread, the stars in the sky shone brighter, and the balance between night and day was restored. The villagers rejoiced, and Elara was hailed as a hero. The village celebrated with a grand feast, and Elara was honored for her courage and kindness. Lyra, the Star Guardian, appeared once more to thank Elara. She explained that the heart's power was not just in its light but in the unity and harmony it represented. Elara's journey had reminded everyone of the importance of balance and the magic that connected them all. A lasting gift. As a token of gratitude, Lyra gave Elara a special gift, a small, enchanted star that would shine with the light of the heart of the constellations. Elara placed the star in her workshop, and its gentle glow brought warmth and inspiration to all her future creations. The village of Lumina continued to thrive, and the stars in the sky seemed to shine even more brightly, a reminder of the balance and unity that Elara had restored. And so, the magic of the stars and the beauty of the night sky remained a cherished part of the world, thanks to the bravery and kindness of one determined weaver. The end. The tale of the Whispering Willow. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, there was a legend about a magical tree known as the Whispering Willow. This tree was said to possess the power to grant the deepest desires of those pure of heart, but only if they could find it deep within the forest where it grew, hidden from all but the bravest souls. In this village lived a young girl named Lila. She was known for her kindness and her unshakable belief in the magic of the world. Lila lived with her grandmother, who often told her stories of the Whispering Willow and the many wonders that awaited those who could find it. One day, as Lila and her grandmother sat by the fire, her grandmother told her about the Whispering Willow's most precious gift, the ability to bring back lost loved ones, if the seeker's heart was pure and their intentions noble. "Grandmother," Lila asked softly, "do you think the Whispering Willow could bring back my parents?" Lila's parents had passed away when she was very young, and though she had grown up with love and care, she often dreamed of seeing them again. Her grandmother looked at her with gentle eyes. "The Whispering Willow can do many things, my dear. But it is not the power of the tree alone, it is the love in your heart that truly matters. If you believe strongly enough, and your wish is pure, perhaps the tree will answer you." That night, as Lila lay in bed, she made up her mind. She would find the Whispering Willow and ask for her parents to return. With her heart full of hope, she set out early the next morning, leaving a note for her grandmother so she wouldn't worry. Lila journeyed into the forest, following the stories her grandmother had told her. She walked for hours, the trees growing taller and the forest denser as she went deeper. The sunlight filtered through the leaves, casting dancing shadows on the ground, and the sounds of the village faded into the distance. As she ventured further, Lila began to hear a soft whispering carried on the wind. The whispers seemed to call her name, guiding her deeper into the forest. She followed the sound, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Lila came to a small clearing. In the center of the clearing stood the most magnificent tree she had ever seen. Its trunk was wide and ancient, with bark that shimmered in the light. Its branches stretched high into the sky, and its leaves, a deep, vibrant green, rustled softly, as if whispering secrets to the wind. Lila knew at once that she had found the Whispering Willow. She approached the tree cautiously, her heart full of hope. "Great Whispering Willow," she called out, her voice trembling slightly, "I have come to ask for a wish. Please, if it is within your power, bring back my parents. I miss them so much." The tree's leaves rustled more loudly, and the whispers grew stronger. Lila listened closely and realized that the whispers were forming words. "Lila, brave and kind," the tree whispered, its voice as soft as a breeze, "your heart is pure, and your wish is full of love. But be warned, young one, that the gift you seek comes with a price. Are you willing to give up something precious to you in exchange?" Lila hesitated. She had nothing of great value, only the love in her heart and the memories of her parents. But she knew that she would give anything to see them again. "Yes," she replied firmly. "I am willing." The Whispering Willow's branches swayed, and its leaves shimmered with a gentle light. "Very well, Lila. For your parents to return, you must give up your memories of them. You will no longer remember the time you spent together, but they will live again." Lila felt a pang in her heart. To forget her parents, even if it meant they would be alive again, was a difficult choice. She closed her eyes and thought of her grandmother's words. It was not the power of the tree alone, but the love in her heart that mattered. After a long moment, Lila opened her eyes. "I will do it," she said, her voice steady. "If it means they can live and be happy again, I will give up my memories." The Whispering Willow's leaves rustled once more, and a soft light enveloped Lila. She felt a warm, comforting sensation, as if a gentle hand were guiding her. The memories of her parents, their faces, their voices, the times they had shared, began to fade, replaced by a sense of peace. When the light faded, Lila found herself standing alone in the clearing. The Whispering Willow was still there, its leaves whispering softly, but something had changed. She no longer felt the ache of loss, only a gentle calm. Suddenly, she heard voices behind her. Turning around, Lila saw two figures approaching from the edge of the clearing, a man and a woman, both with kind eyes and warm smiles. Though she didn't recognize them, something deep inside her told her that these were the people she had wished for. "Lila," the woman said softly, her voice full of love. "It's time to go home." Without hesitation, Lila ran to them, feeling a sense of belonging she couldn't quite explain. As they walked back through the forest together, the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the trees. Though Lila's memories were gone, her heart was full, and she knew that she had made the right choice. When they reached the village, Lila's grandmother was waiting for them. Tears of joy filled her eyes as she embraced the two strangers, knowing that her granddaughter's wish had been granted. From that day on, Lila lived happily with her new family. The Whispering Willow continued to stand in the forest, waiting for the next pure-hearted soul to find it. And though Lila no longer remembered her parents, the love in her heart remained, a testament to the sacrifice she had made. And so, the village continued to thrive, with the legend of the Whispering Willow passed down through the generations, reminding all who heard it that true magic lies not in the granting of wishes, but in the love and selflessness that makes those wishes possible. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in a peaceful village surrounded by rolling meadows and towering mountains, there was a mysterious forest known as the Enchanted Forest. This forest was said to be filled with magical creatures and hidden treasures, but it was also known to be guarded by powerful enchantments that no one dared to challenge. In this village lived a young, curious fox named Finn. Finn was known for his bright eyes and adventurous spirit. Unlike the other animals in the village, who preferred the safety of their homes, Finn dreamt of exploring the enchanted forest and discovering its secrets. One crisp autumn morning, as the golden sun bathed the village in a warm glow, Finn overheard a conversation between two villagers. They spoke of a rare and powerful gem called the Heartstone that was hidden deep within the enchanted forest. The Heartstone was said to have the power to bring prosperity and happiness to the land, but it was guarded by ancient magic and a fearsome dragon. Determined to find the Heartstone and prove his bravery, Finn set out towards the enchanted forest. As he entered the forest, the trees seemed to whisper and the air felt alive with magic. The forest was both beautiful and mysterious, with flowers that glowed softly and streams that sparkled with stardust. Finn followed a winding path that led him deeper into the forest. Along the way, he encountered a wise old owl named Oliver perched on a high branch. Oliver had feathers that shimmered with all the colors of the rainbow. "Hello, young fox," Oliver hooted. "What brings you to the enchanted forest?" "I'm searching for the Heartstone," Finn replied. "I want to bring its magic to my village." Oliver's eyes twinkled with interest. The Heartstone is indeed a powerful gem, but it is protected by the ancient magic of the forest and a fearsome dragon. To reach it, you must prove your worth by completing 3 trials. Finn nodded resolutely. "I'm ready." "What are the trials?" "The first trial," Oliver said, "is the trial of the Echoing Cave. You must find your way through a cave that repeats your own fears and doubts. Only by overcoming them will you find the way out." Finn thanked Oliver and followed the path to the Echoing Cave. Inside, the cave walls seemed to come alive with eerie whispers and shadows. Finn's heart raced as he heard echoes of his own fears, but he took a deep breath and reminded himself of his purpose. He focused on the light at the end of the tunnel and pressed forward, ignoring the whispers that tried to deter him. After what felt like an eternity, Finn emerged from the cave, victorious. The second trial awaited him, which was the trial of the Enchanted River. The river was said to have currents that could sweep away even the strongest of animals. To cross it, one must find the stepping stones hidden beneath the surface. Finn approached the river and saw that the water was indeed swift and treacherous. He spotted glimmers of stones beneath the surface but couldn't see them clearly. Remembering Oliver's advice to trust in his instincts, Finn carefully stepped onto the stones that felt stable and solid. With patience and precision, he crossed the river safely. The final trial was the trial of the dragon's lair. Finn had to navigate through the dragon's territory to find the Heartstone. As he ventured deeper, he heard the dragon's mighty roars and saw the smoke rising from the lair. As Finn approached the lair, he saw the fearsome dragon, a majestic creature with scales that glowed like molten gold. The dragon's eyes were fierce, but they softened when he saw Finn's brave stance. "Who dares to enter my lair?" the dragon bellowed. "I am Finn, and I seek the Heartstone," Finn said, his voice steady. I wish to bring its magic to my village. The dragon, whose name was Draconis, studied Finn with keen eyes. Many have come before you, but none have shown such courage and determination. To prove yourself worthy, you must answer one final question. What is the true source of the Heartstone's power? Finn thought deeply. He remembered the kindness and bravery he had seen in the forest and realized that the Heartstone's power was not just in the gem itself but in the courage and goodness of those who sought it. The true source of the Heartstone's power, Finn said, is the heart that seeks it. It is the kindness, courage, and love that guide those who find it. Draconis's eyes gleamed with approval. You have answered wisely, young fox. You understand that true magic comes from within. The Heartstone is yours. Draconis gently handed Finn the Heartstone, a gem that glowed with a radiant, warm light. Finn thanked the dragon and began his journey back to the village, the Heartstone secure in his paws. As he exited the enchanted forest, the trees seemed to whisper their approval, and the flowers glowed brighter. Finn returned to his village as a hero, and the villagers celebrated his bravery and the magic he had brought back. With the Heartstone, the village flourished. The land became more fertile, the crops grew abundantly, and happiness filled every home. Finn's adventure became a cherished story, and he was honored as a symbol of courage and determination. The enchanted forest remained a place of magic and wonder. But it was no longer a place of fear. Finn had proven that with bravery, kindness, and a pure heart, even the greatest challenges could be overcome. And so, Finn lived happily ever after, knowing that true magic came from within and that even the smallest of creatures could achieve great things. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between rolling hills and misty forests, there was a small village known as Willowbrook. Willowbrook was a charming place where everyone knew everyone, and the people lived in harmony with nature. However, the village had one peculiar problem. No matter how hard they tried, they could never navigate through the ancient, enchanted forest that surrounded their homes. The forest was dense and magical, with trees that whispered secrets and paths that shifted as you walked. For centuries, the villagers had been content to stay on the edge, never venturing too far into the forest's mysterious depths. But as the years went by, curiosity grew, and the villagers began to dream of exploring the wonders hidden within. One chilly autumn evening, as the first frost kissed the leaves, a young girl named Lila stepped forward with a brave heart. Lila was known for her kindness and keen sense of adventure. She believed that the enchanted forest held secrets that could help her village. And she was determined to uncover them. One night, as the stars twinkled brightly, Lila climbed the highest hill in Willowbrook. There, she spotted an old, weathered telescope left behind by a long-forgotten astronomer. She peered through it and saw something incredible, a glimmering constellation in the shape of a compass, guiding her toward the heart of the forest. The next morning, Lila gathered her courage and set out with only a small satchel, her trusty lantern, and a parchment with a drawing of the starry compass. She followed the constellation's path, which led her into the enchanted forest. As Lila ventured deeper, the forest grew darker and more mysterious. The trees seemed to lean closer, their leaves rustling in a language she couldn't understand. The path twisted and turned, but Lila kept her eyes on the stars above. Guided by the constellation, she felt a sense of purpose and wonder. After several hours of walking, she came upon a small clearing bathed in moonlight. In the center stood an ancient oak tree. Its trunk gnarled and wise, with branches stretching toward the sky. Hanging from one of its branches was a delicate, glowing compass, its needle spinning gracefully. Lila approached the compass with reverence. As she touched it, a soft voice echoed around her. "Welcome, brave traveler. You have found the starry compass. It is said to hold the key to understanding the magic of the forest." A figure emerged from the shadows, an elegant fairy with wings that sparkled like the night sky. "I am Lyra, the guardian of the forest," she said with a gentle smile. "The compass has chosen you, Lila. What is it that you seek?" Lila took a deep breath. "I seek to help my village. We want to understand the forest and harness its magic to better our lives." Lyra nodded, her eyes twinkling. Very well. The starry compass will guide you, but you must answer a riddle to unlock its true power. Are you ready? Lila nodded eagerly. Lyra's voice grew soft and melodic as she recited the riddle. I am not alive. But I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I? Lila thought carefully. The forest around her was silent, as if waiting for her answer. Then, with a sudden flash of insight, she said, a fire. Lyra's eyes sparkled with approval. You have answered correctly. The starry compass now reveals its magic. The compass began to glow brightly, and the forest around Lila seemed to come alive. The trees parted, revealing a path paved with golden leaves that led to a beautiful, hidden grove. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers, and a crystal-clear stream flowed through the grove. This grove, Lyra explained, holds the essence of the forest's magic. The plants here have healing properties, and the water brings prosperity. Take what you need for your village, but remember to respect the balance of nature. Lila carefully collected some herbs and filled a small vial with the enchanted water. She thanked Lyra and the forest for their gift and made her way back to Willowbrook. Guided once again by the constellation. When she returned, the villagers were astonished by the treasures she brought. They used the herbs to heal ailments and the water to enrich their crops. Willowbrook flourished, and the villagers learned to live in harmony with the enchanted forest, respecting its magic and protecting its secrets. As for Lila, she became a beloved hero, known for her bravery and wisdom. She often visited the forest, guided by the starry compass, to ensure that the magical balance was maintained. And so, Willowbrook thrived, and the enchanted forest remained a place of wonder and harmony, forever intertwined with the lives of those who cherished its magic. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a distant corner of the world, there was a hidden isle known as Eldoria. This island was a place of great beauty and wonder, where towering trees whispered ancient secrets and crystal-clear rivers sparkled under the sun. Eldoria was protected by magical creatures and watched over by a mystical guardian, the celestial phoenix, named Seraphina. The legend of Eldoria spoke of a powerful artifact called the Heart of Eldoria. This gem was said to be the source of the island's magic, keeping the balance between nature and the enchanted beings that lived there. However, a dark sorcerer named Malachi coveted this power and sought to claim it for himself. One fateful day, Malachi's dark magic shattered the protective enchantments surrounding Eldoria, and the Heart of Eldoria was stolen. The isle was plunged into chaos, and its once vibrant beauty began to fade. The magical creatures grew restless, and the trees began to wither. In a small village on the edge of Eldoria, a young girl named Ilara lived with her grandmother. Ilara had always felt a deep connection to the island and had a natural talent for understanding its magic. Her grandmother, an old herbalist, often spoke of the ancient tales of Eldoria and its lost guardian. One evening, as a strange mist began to envelop the village, Ilara discovered an ancient scroll hidden in her grandmother's belongings. The scroll told of a prophecy: when darkness falls upon Eldoria, a chosen one shall rise to reclaim the heart of Eldoria and restore balance to the land. Determined to save the island she loved, Ilara set out on a journey to find the heart of Eldoria and restore the isle's magic. Guided by the scroll and her own intuition, she ventured into the heart of the island. Along the way, she encountered various magical beings, each with a piece of the puzzle. Her first encounter was with a wise old tree named Grandfather Oak, who spoke in deep, rumbling tones. To find the heart, you must first seek the 3 guardians of Eldoria, Grandfather Oak said. They hold the key to unlocking the path to the heart. Ilara thanked Grandfather Oak and continued her journey. She soon arrived at the enchanted meadow, where she met the first guardian, a gentle unicorn named Luminera. Luminera's horn glowed with a soothing light, and she spoke with a voice like a melodious psalm. The heart of Eldoria is hidden within the cavern of echoes, Luminera said. But to enter, you must first gain the blessing of the next guardian. With Luminera's guidance, Ilara journeyed to the Crystal Lake, where the second guardian, a wise and ancient sea dragon named Thalios, resided. Phalios emerged from the depths of the lake, his scales shimmering like stars. "To gain my blessing, you must show me the purity of your heart," Phalios said. Elara performed a series of tasks set by Phalios, demonstrating her bravery and kindness. She rescued a trapped mermaid, healed a wounded sea creature, and calmed a storm that threatened the lake. Impressed, Phalios granted her his blessing and provided her with a magical pearl that would guide her to the Cavern of Echoes. With the pearl's light leading the way, Elara reached the final guardian, a majestic griffin named Zephyros, perched atop the Mountain of Whispers. Zephyros's wings spread wide, casting a shadow over the land. "The final trial is one of courage," Zephyros said. "You must face your deepest fears to prove your worth." Elara entered the Mountain of Whispers, where she confronted illusions that tested her resolve. The illusions took the form of her greatest fears: losing her loved ones, failing in her quest, and being unable to save Eldoria. Through sheer determination and the support of her new friends, Elara overcame the trials and emerged victorious. Zephyros, seeing her bravery, granted her the final key, a golden feather that would unlock the Cavern of Echoes. With the feather in hand, Elara made her way to the cavern's entrance, hidden deep within the heart of Eldoria. Inside the cavern, the air was thick with magic, and the walls sparkled with ancient runes. At the cavern's center, atop a pedestal, lay the heart of Eldoria, glowing with a soft, pulsing light. But standing between Elara and the heart was Malachi, who had been waiting for her. "You're too late, child," Malachi sneered. "The power of the heart is mine." A fierce battle ensued, with Malachi using dark magic to try to seize the heart. Elara, guided by her courage and the blessings of the guardians, fought valiantly. Her pure heart and unwavering determination allowed her to counter Malachi's dark spells and protect the heart. In a final, climactic moment, Elara used the magical pearl to create a barrier of light around the heart, overpowering Malachi's darkness. The heart of Eldoria was safe once more, and the island began to restore its magic. With the heart of Eldoria returned to its rightful place, the isle flourished again. The trees regained their lush green, the river sparkled brightly, and the magical creatures danced in joy. The celestial phoenix, Seraphina, appeared before Elara, her wings radiant and majestic. "You have proven yourself worthy, Elara," Seraphina said. "You have restored balance to Eldoria and safeguarded its magic. The kingdom will forever be grateful." Elara returned to her village as a hero, celebrated for her bravery and heart. The people of Eldoria rejoiced, and the once-forgotten isle became a place of harmony and wonder once more. Elara continued to protect and cherish the island, her tale becoming a legend passed down through generations. And so, the Moonlit Kingdom thrived under the renewed magic of the heart of Eldoria, with Elara's story inspiring all who heard it to face their own challenges with courage and a pure heart. The end. The princess and the stonecutter. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between towering mountains and flowing rivers, there was a kind and just king who ruled with wisdom and grace. The king had a beautiful daughter named Princess Isla, who was loved by all for her gentle heart and adventurous spirit. Despite her royal duties, Isla often slipped away from the castle to explore the forests, mountains, and villages of the kingdom. She loved nothing more than to learn about the lives of her people and to help them in any way she could. One day, while exploring a remote village at the foot of the mountains, Princess Isla came across a young stonecutter named Rowan. He was strong and skilled, known throughout the village for his ability to shape even the hardest stone into works of art. But despite his talent, Rowan was humble and lived a simple life, working from dawn until dusk to support his family. As Isla watched Rowan work, she noticed something peculiar. Every time Rowan struck his chisel against the stone, a small spark of light would flash, as if the stone itself were alive. Intrigued, Isla approached Rowan and asked him about his craft. Rowan looked up from his work and smiled. "These stones are special, Princess," he said. "They come from the heart of the mountain, where it is said that ancient magic still lingers. When I carve them, I can sometimes feel that magic flowing through my hands." Isla was fascinated. She had heard stories of the ancient magic in the mountains, but she had never seen it for herself. "What do you do with the stones once you've shaped them?" she asked. "I make many things," Rowan replied. "Statues, pillars, and sometimes even jewelry. But the most important thing I carve is the heartstone." "The heartstone?" Isla echoed, curious. "What is that?" Rowan stood up and wiped the sweat from his brow. "The heartstone is a tradition in our village. Every year, I carve a special stone in the shape of a heart and place it at the center of the village square. It is believed that as long as the heartstone remains whole, our village will be protected from harm." Isla was moved by the story. "May I see the heartstone?" she asked. Rowan nodded and led Isla to the village square. In the center of the square stood a large stone heart, polished to a gleaming finish. It radiated a soft, warm light, and Isla could feel the magic within it. The villagers had decorated the square with flowers and ribbons, and children played around the heartstone, laughing and singing. "It's beautiful," Isla said, her voice filled with awe. "You've done a wonderful thing for your village, Rowan." Rowan smiled modestly. "It's not just my work, Princess. The heartstone is a symbol of our unity and strength. As long as we stand together, the stone will remain strong." Isla spent the rest of the day in the village, getting to know the people and learning more about their traditions. She was so impressed by the stonecutter's skill and the villagers' sense of community that she decided to return to the castle and tell her father about what she had seen. That evening, as Isla dined with her father, she told him all about Rowan and the heartstone. The king listened intently, and when Isla had finished, he nodded thoughtfully. "It is clear that the young stonecutter has great talent," the king said. "But more importantly, he understands the value of unity and hard work. I would like to meet him." The next day, the king and Princess Isla traveled to the village to meet Rowan. The king was impressed by Rowan's humility and skill, and after hearing about the heartstone, he made a decision. "Rowan," the king said, "would like to commission you to create a heartstone for the entire kingdom. It will be placed in the grand square of the capital, where it will symbolize the unity and strength of all our people." Rowan was honored by the request but also overwhelmed. "Your Majesty, it would be a great honor, but the magic in the stones from our village is special. I'm not sure if it will work in the capital." The king smiled kindly. "I believe the magic lies not just in the stone, but in the hands and heart of the one who shapes it. You have the talent, and with your skill, I have no doubt that you can create a heartstone worthy of the entire kingdom." Encouraged by the king's words, Rowan agreed to take on the task. He worked tirelessly for weeks, selecting the finest stones from the mountains and carefully carving them into the shape of a heart. As he worked, he could feel the magic flowing through his hands, just as it had before, but this time it was even stronger. It was as if the hopes and dreams of the entire kingdom were being infused into the stone. When the heartstone was finally complete, it was even more magnificent than the one in the village. It shone with a bright, pure light, and when Rowan touched it, he felt a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. The king and Princess Isla were overjoyed and they saw the finished heartstone. It was placed in the grand square of the capital, where people from all corners of the kingdom came to see it. The heartstone became a symbol of the kingdom's unity, and it was said that as long as it remained whole, the kingdom would be safe from any harm. Rowan was hailed as a hero, but he remained humble, always reminding people that the true magic came from their unity and strength. Princess Isla and Rowan became close friends, and she often visited him in his village to see how he was doing and to learn more about his craft. As the years passed, the kingdom prospered, and the heartstone remained a shining symbol of peace and unity. And though the people celebrated Rowan for his great work, he always insisted that it was the love and support of his fellow villagers, and the encouragement of a kind princess, that had made the magic possible. And so, the kingdom lived on in peace and harmony, protected by the magic of the heartstone and the unity of its people. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in a quaint village surrounded by rolling hills and lush meadows, there was an old well known as the Whispering Well. The villagers believed that the well had magical properties, for it was said that the whispers carried by the wind from the well could reveal secrets and grant wisdom. The well was covered by a mossy stone arch and was surrounded by wildflowers that bloomed year-round. Despite its allure, the well had been forgotten by many, except for a young girl named Eloan. Eloan had always been fascinated by the tales of the well's magic, and every day she would visit it, hoping to uncover its mysteries. One crisp autumn evening, as the sun set and painted the sky in hues of gold and crimson, Eloan approached the well. She noticed a glimmer of light emanating from its depths, casting an ethereal glow on the surrounding flowers. Driven by curiosity, she peered into the well and saw a faint, shimmering figure at the bottom. "Hello?" Eloan called, her voice echoing softly. "Is someone there?" To her astonishment, the shimmering figure floated up from the well. It was a beautiful spirit with flowing hair that sparkled like stardust and eyes that shone with ancient wisdom. The spirit introduced herself as Aurelia, the guardian of the Whispering Well. "Eloan," Aurelia said with a voice like a gentle breeze, "you have a pure heart and an inquisitive spirit. For years, I have waited for someone like you to come and restore the magic of this well." Eloan was awestruck. "How can I help?" Aurelia explained that the well's magic had faded over time because its connection to the magical world had been severed. To restore the well's magic, Aurelia said, you must undertake a journey to find 3 enchanted items: the luminous petal, the silver streamstone, and the celestial feather. Each item holds a piece of the magic that once flourished here. Without hesitation, Eloan agreed to the quest. Aurelia guided her to the first destination, the enchanted meadow, where the luminous petal was said to bloom. The meadow was bathed in twilight's soft glow, and among the flowers, Eloan spotted a radiant bloom with petals that seemed to catch the last rays of sunlight. As she approached, a delicate butterfly fluttered near the flower. The butterfly spoke in a melodious voice, "To take the luminous petal, you must answer a riddle. What has a heart that never beats, a home but never sleeps, and can grow without roots?" Eloan thought for a moment and then answered confidently, "A heart of stone." The butterfly smiled and granted Eloan the luminous petal, which shone with a gentle light. With her first task complete, Eloan set off to find the silver streamstone, which was hidden in the depths of the Whispering River. The river flowed serenely through a lush forest. Eloan followed its path until she found a sparkling stone nestled in a bed of shimmering sand. As she reached for it, the water began to swirl, and a graceful water nymph appeared. To retrieve the silver streamstone, the nymph said, "You must prove your worth by showing kindness to the creatures of the river." Eloan carefully helped several stranded fish back into the water and tended to a small, injured frog. The nymph, pleased with her compassion, handed her the silver streamstone, which glittered like liquid moonlight. Finally, Eloan journeyed to the highest peak in the land, where the celestial feather was said to be found. The peak was high and windy, and Eloan climbed carefully until she reached a golden eagle's nest. The eagle, majestic and wise, greeted her with a regal gaze. To earn the celestial feather, the eagle said, "You must share a story of courage and kindness." Eloan recounted her adventures and the acts of kindness she had performed along the way. The eagle, moved by her sincerity and bravery, offered her a single, iridescent feather that shimmered with celestial light. With all 3 items in hand, Eloan returned to the Whispering Well. Aurelia welcomed her and instructed her to place the luminous petal, the silver streamstone, and the celestial feather in the well. As Eloan placed each item into the well, a brilliant light erupted, enveloping the well in a dazzling glow. The whispers grew louder, carrying messages of hope and wisdom. The once faded magic of the well was restored, and Aurelia's spirit, now radiant and joyful, danced in the light. "Eloan," Aurelia said with a warm smile, "you have restored the magic of the Whispering Well and proven yourself a true guardian of its secrets. Your kindness and bravery have brought light back to our world." Eloan felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Aurelia gifted her a small, enchanted vial filled with shimmering water from the well. "This vial will allow you to call upon the well's magic whenever you need it." Once upon a time, in a land where mountains kissed the sky and forests whispered secrets, there was a village nestled between rolling hills and shimmering lakes. This village was known for its vibrant, colorful flowers and the enchanting melodies that drifted from its heart, a magical glen where the forest spirits played their tunes. In this village lived a kind-hearted girl named Elara. Elara had a gift for music. Her voice was as pure as a mountain stream, and she played the flute with such grace that the birds would pause their songs to listen. But there was one thing that troubled her heart. Every year, as the sun set on the longest day, the village would hold a grand festival to celebrate the harvest, and it was said that the most beautiful melody of the night would bring fortune to the village for the coming year. Elara wanted more than anything to be the one to play the winning melody, but every year she faltered, her music not quite reaching the magical heights she dreamed of. This year, however, she was determined to make a difference. She sought out the village elder, an old woman named Yara, who was known for her wisdom and connection with the magical forest. Yara listened to Elara's heartfelt plea. After a moment's thought, she handed Elara a small, intricately carved wooden box. This belonged to the forest spirits, Yara said. It is said that whoever possesses it will find the melody they seek. But remember, the magic of the box will only reveal itself to those who truly believe in their heart. With a mixture of hope and apprehension, Elara took the box and went home. That night, she sat by the window, under the gentle glow of the moonlight, and played her flute. She played every tune she knew, but the magic she hoped for still eluded her. Frustrated and weary, she finally opened the wooden box. Inside, there was only a small, simple note that read, "The melody lies within." Confused but undeterred, Elara closed the box and went to sleep. The next morning, she decided to visit the magical glen in the heart of the forest, hoping that perhaps the spirits might offer her guidance. As Elara entered the glen, she was greeted by a dazzling sight. The trees sparkled with golden light, and the air was filled with the soft laughter of the forest spirits. She played her flute for them, pouring all her emotion into the music. But even though she played with all her heart, the melody still didn't feel right. Just then, a soft, shimmering figure appeared before her. It was a spirit unlike the others, more radiant and serene. "I am Lyra, the spirit of the enchanted melody," the spirit said gently. "I have been waiting for you. The melody you seek is not just a song but a reflection of your true self." Elara was puzzled. "But how can I find that melody?" Lyra smiled and pointed to a nearby stream. "Listen to the water, the wind, and the rustling leaves. The true melody is not something you play, but something you become." Elara approached the stream and closed her eyes. She listened to the gentle flow of the water, the whisper of the breeze, and the murmur of the leaves. Gradually, she began to feel a deep connection with the natural world around her. Her heartbeat synchronized with the rhythm of the stream, and a sense of peace washed over her. With renewed clarity, Elara returned to the village, clutching her flute with a newfound sense of purpose. That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the festival began, she took her place among the performers. She started to play, and this time, the music that flowed from her flute was not just a tune, it was a reflection of the harmony she felt within herself and with the world around her. The villagers were entranced. The melody was unlike anything they had ever heard before. It seemed to capture the essence of the night sky, the joy of the harvest, and the magic of the forest. As Elara finished her performance, the entire village erupted in applause. The air seemed to sparkle with an ethereal light, and a gentle breeze carried the melody across the land. The following year, the village prospered more than ever before. Crops were bountiful, the flowers bloomed in vibrant colors, and the village's joy was palpable. Elara's melody had indeed brought the fortune they had hoped for, but more importantly, it had brought a deep sense of unity and harmony to the village. Elara had learned that the true magic lay not in seeking an external source but in finding and embracing her own inner truth. And so, the girl with the enchanted melody continued to play, her music now a cherished gift that reminded everyone of the beauty and magic that exists within us all. And so, in a land where the melodies of the forest met the hearts of its people, Elara lived happily ever after, sharing her music and the magic of the enchanted melody with all who would listen. The magic of Willow's Grove. Once upon a time, in a land of rolling hills and blooming meadows, there was a small village nestled beside an ancient forest. In this village lived a curious boy named Oliver. Oliver loved exploring and had a special fascination with the old stories and legends of his village, especially the tale of Willow's Grove. According to the legend, Willow's Grove was a hidden part of the forest where the trees were enchanted and had the power to grant wishes. However, the entrance to this magical grove was hidden and could only be found by someone who truly believed in magic and had a pure heart. One bright autumn morning, Oliver decided to search for Willow's Grove. He packed a small satchel with food, a map, and his trusty compass, then set off into the forest. The trees were ablaze with colors of red and gold, and the air was filled with the scent of fallen leaves. As Oliver ventured deeper into the forest, he came across an old, gnarled oak tree with a large hollow at its base. Curious, he peered inside and found a small, intricately carved wooden box. Inside the box was a note that read, "To find Willow's Grove, follow the whispers of the trees and listen to the songs of the birds." Determined, Oliver continued his journey, keeping his ears open for any whispers and songs. The forest was alive with the chatter of birds and the rustling of leaves, but he focused on the sounds that seemed to guide him forward. After walking for hours, Oliver came to a clearing where a circle of ancient, majestic trees stood. They were unlike any trees he had seen before, with silver leaves that shimmered in the sunlight. As he approached, he noticed a gentle, melodious hum emanating from the trees. It was as if they were singing a soft, harmonious tune. Oliver took a deep breath and closed his eyes, allowing the music of the trees to fill his senses. As he listened, the hum seemed to form words, "Welcome, seeker of magic. The path to Willow's Grove lies before you." With renewed hope, Oliver followed the melody, which seemed to grow stronger as he walked. The ground beneath him began to glow with a faint, golden light, and he soon found himself at the edge of a hidden glade. In the center of the glade stood an enormous willow tree with branches that cascaded to the ground like a shimmering curtain. The willow tree's bark was adorned with delicate, glowing runes, and its leaves sparkled like stars. Oliver approached the tree with reverence, feeling a sense of awe and wonder. As he reached out to touch the bark, the runes began to glow brighter, and a soft, melodious voice spoke. "Welcome, Oliver. You have found Willow's Grove, a place where wishes are woven into the fabric of dreams. What is it that you seek?" Oliver hesitated for a moment, then spoke from his heart. "I wish to bring joy and prosperity to my village. We have been facing hardships, and I want to help them find happiness and abundance." The willow tree's branches swayed gently, and the air filled with a warm, golden light. "Your wish comes from a pure heart," the voice said. "To fulfill it, you must make a gift of your own. Place a small token of your village's love at the base of the tree, and the magic of Willow's Grove will begin to work." Oliver thought for a moment and then took out a small, handcrafted wooden charm from his satchel. It was a simple heart-shaped pendant, intricately carved and painted with vibrant colors. He had made it himself, and it symbolized the love and unity of his village. With a sense of gratitude, Oliver placed the charm at the base of the willow tree. As soon as he did, the ground began to shimmer, and a gentle breeze carried the charm away, as if it were being lifted by an invisible hand. The golden light from the tree enveloped the entire glade, and Oliver felt a sense of peace and fulfillment. "Your gift has been accepted," the voice said. "Return to your village, and you will find that the magic of Willow's Grove has already begun to work." Oliver made his way back to the village, his heart light and hopeful. As he approached, he was amazed to see the once barren fields now lush and green. The villagers were busy harvesting a bountiful crop, and the air was filled with laughter and joy. It was as if the land itself had been transformed, bringing prosperity and happiness to everyone. The villagers greeted Oliver with cheers and gratitude, and he shared the story of his journey and the magic of Willow's Grove. They celebrated with a grand feast, and Oliver's wish for joy and abundance had come true. From that day on, the village thrived, and the legend of Willow's Grove lived on as a symbol of hope and magic. The villagers continued to honor the grove and the enchanting willow tree that had helped them in their time of need. And so, Oliver's adventure became a cherished tale, reminding everyone that true magic lies not only in enchanted places but also in the love, unity, and selflessness of the heart. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. In a land where rolling hills met shimmering lakes, there was a village called Eldoria, known for its serene beauty and starry nights. Eldoria was famous for its enchanting starry lake, a magical place where the reflections of the stars danced on the water's surface. Legends told of a hidden song that played only when the moon was full and the lake's waters were still. In this village lived a young girl named Elara, who loved the starry lake more than anything. Elara was known for her kind heart and adventurous spirit. She often spent her evenings by the lake, dreaming of the day she might hear the fabled song. One evening, as the full moon rose high and the lake sparkled like a sea of stars, Elara noticed something strange. The usually calm waters of the lake began to ripple, and the starry reflections seemed to waver. Elara felt a sense of urgency. She remembered the old tales her grandmother had told her about a song that could only be heard and the moon's light touched the lake at the exact moment. Determined to uncover the mystery, Elara decided to seek out the source of the song. With a lantern in hand and a heart full of determination, she set off toward the heart of the forest that bordered the lake. As she ventured deeper into the forest, Elara encountered a wise old owl perched on a gnarled branch. The owl's feathers shimmered with a silver light, reflecting the moon's glow. "Wise owl, can you help me?" Elara asked. "The starry lake song seems to be lost, and I need to find it before the night ends." The owl, named Orin, looked at her with knowing eyes. "To find the song, you must follow the path of moonlight through the forest and solve 3 trials that guard the heart of the lake." With that, Orin spread his wings and pointed with his beak toward a winding path illuminated by moonlight. Elara thanked him and began her journey along the path. The first trial was a field of enchanted flowers that glowed softly in the moonlight. As Elara walked through the field, she noticed that the flowers were singing a gentle melody. However, the song was incomplete, as if something were missing. A mischievous sprite named Leora appeared among the flowers. "To pass this trial, you must restore harmony to the melody," Leora said. "The flowers need a lullaby to complete their song." Elara remembered a lullaby her mother used to sing to her. With a soft, soothing voice, she began to sing the lullaby. The flowers responded by glowing brighter and singing along, creating a harmonious melody. The path ahead became clearer, and Leora waved goodbye, letting Elara continue. The second trial led Elara to a crystal-clear pond surrounded by whispering reeds. A gentle mist hovered over the water, and a shimmering figure emerged, a graceful water nymph named Seraphina. To continue, Seraphina said, "You must find the missing note of the song hidden in the pond's depths. Only then will the waters guide you." Elara peered into the pond and saw a small, iridescent note resting at the bottom. Without hesitation, she reached into the water and retrieved the note. As she held it up, the mist parted, revealing a bridge made of moonlight that led to the final trial. The third trial took Elara to a grand oak tree with branches that reached towards the sky. The tree's leaves were silver and seemed to hum with a soft, rhythmic pulse. A wise old faun named Thorn appeared, leaning on a gnarled staff. "Here lies the final trial," Thorn said. "You must listen to the rhythm of the leaves and match their beats with your own heart." Elara closed her eyes and listened carefully to the tree's rhythm. She focused on her heartbeat, letting its steady pulse guide her. As she matched the rhythm, the tree's leaves began to glow brighter, and the final part of the song became clear. With all 3 trials completed, Elara followed the path to the heart of the lake, where the waters were calm and mirror-like. As she approached, she saw the source of the song, a beautiful, ancient harp resting on a pedestal in the center of the lake. Elara touched the harp gently, and the lake's waters began to ripple in time with the melody. The reflections of the stars danced across the surface, and the full, enchanting song of the starry lake filled the air. The music was as timeless as the stars themselves, a symphony of celestial beauty. Elara felt a deep sense of fulfillment and joy. She had restored the lost song and brought harmony back to the starry lake. As she returned to the village, the villagers gathered by the lake, marveling at the magical music that now filled their nights. From that day on, the Starry Lake song played every full moon, a reminder of Alara's bravery and the timeless magic of their world. The village of Eldoria thrived under the starry sky, with the lake song inspiring dreams and spreading joy to all who listened. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between lush, green hills, there was an old, forgotten castle. The villagers spoke of its ancient walls with a mixture of curiosity and reverence, for the castle was said to be enchanted, holding secrets of a hidden kingdom beyond anyone's imagination. In this village lived a kind-hearted girl named Lila. She was known for her adventurous spirit and her love for exploring the woods and hills around her home. One day, while wandering near the castle, Lila stumbled upon a peculiar object partially buried in the ground, a small, ornate key with intricate designs carved into it. The key shimmered with a soft, magical glow. Excited by her discovery, Lila took the key to the village elder, an old woman named Granny Aloan, who was known for her knowledge of the village's history and legends. Granny Aloan's eyes widened in surprise as she examined the key. "This is no ordinary key," Granny Aloan said, her voice filled with wonder. "Legend says that it belongs to the Hidden Kingdom, a magical realm that exists beyond the castle's walls. Only the one with a pure heart can unlock the gate to this kingdom." Determined to uncover the truth, Lila decided to follow the path the key had led her to. Early the next morning, she set off towards the old castle with the key clutched tightly in her hand. The castle was covered in ivy and appeared to have been abandoned for many years. As Lila approached, she noticed a hidden door covered in vines, which seemed to be waiting for the key. With a deep breath, Lila inserted the key into the lock and turned it. The door creaked open, revealing a spiral staircase leading downward into darkness. Lila hesitated for a moment, then bravely descended the stairs, her heart racing with excitement and curiosity. At the bottom of the staircase, Lila found herself in a vast, underground chamber illuminated by a soft, golden light. In the center of the chamber stood a grand, ancient door covered in dazzling gems and runes. The keyhole was shaped perfectly for the key Lila had found. She inserted the key and turned it slowly. The door swung open with a gentle sigh, revealing a breathtaking sight, a lush, vibrant kingdom filled with magical creatures and shimmering landscapes. The air was filled with the sweet scent of flowers, and the sky above was a swirl of soft, glowing colors. As Lila stepped into the hidden kingdom, she was greeted by a group of friendly creatures, a wise old unicorn named Arion, a mischievous fairy named Trixie, and a gentle giant named Brahm. They welcomed Lila with warm smiles and curious eyes. "Welcome, traveler," Arion said in a voice that resonated like a gentle melody. "We have been waiting for someone with a pure heart to discover our kingdom. The Hidden Kingdom has been in a deep slumber for many years, and it is said that only someone who truly believes in the magic of kindness and bravery can awaken it." Lila was amazed by the beauty and magic surrounding her. She learned that the Hidden Kingdom had been hidden away to protect its magic from those who would misuse it. The kingdom was now in need of a hero to restore its fading enchantments and bring joy back to its inhabitants. Arion explained that the kingdom had 4 magical artifacts, each representing an essential quality: courage, wisdom, kindness, and hope. These artifacts had been scattered across the kingdom and needed to be found and restored to their rightful places to awaken the full magic of the land. Determined to help, Lila embarked on a quest to retrieve the artifacts. Her first challenge took her to the Forest of Courage, where she faced a series of trials that tested her bravery. With the help of Trixie, who guided her through the forest and helped her solve riddles and overcome obstacles, Lila found the first artifact, a radiant shield symbolizing courage. Next, she journeyed to the Mountain of Wisdom, where she had to solve ancient puzzles and navigate treacherous paths. With Brahm's strength and guidance, Lila retrieved the second artifact, a glowing staff representing wisdom. For the third artifact, Lila traveled to the Valley of Kindness, where she helped various magical creatures in need, showing compassion and empathy. Her acts of kindness led her to the third artifact, a heart-shaped locket symbolizing kindness. Finally, Lila reached the Sky Temple, a floating palace high above the clouds, where the last artifact, a crystal orb representing hope, was hidden. The trials here tested her resolve and optimism. With unwavering hope and determination, Lila secured the final artifact. With all 4 artifacts in hand, Lila returned to the center of the Hidden Kingdom. Arion, Trixie, and Braum gathered around her as she placed the artifacts on a grand, enchanted pedestal. As she did, the artifacts began to glow with a brilliant light, and the kingdom erupted in a dazzling display of magic. The enchantments of the Hidden Kingdom were fully restored, and the land flourished with renewed life and beauty. The magical creatures rejoiced, and the kingdom's vibrant colors and joyful melodies filled the air once more. Grateful for Lila's bravery and kindness, the inhabitants of the Hidden Kingdom invited her to stay and become their honored guest. However, Lila knew she had to return to her village. She promised to visit the Hidden Kingdom often and share its magic with her people. As she left the kingdom and climbed back up the stairs to the old castle, Lila looked back one last time and saw the Hidden Kingdom shimmering with a magical glow. She knew that the kingdom's magic would always be a part of her, and she was excited to share her incredible adventure with her village. Back in her village, Lila's story became a cherished legend, inspiring others to believe in the magic of kindness, courage, wisdom, and hope. The old castle was no longer just a forgotten relic, but a symbol of the incredible adventure that had brought magic and wonder to the land. And so, Lila continued to live her life with the values she had learned from her journey, spreading joy and magic wherever she went, and the Hidden Kingdom remained a place of wonder and enchantment, forever in the heart of those who believed in its magic. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. The tale of the brave little tailor in the starry cloak. Once upon a time, in a bustling kingdom called Eldoria, there was a small tailor's shop at the edge of the marketplace. The shop was owned by a young and clever tailor named Finn. Finn was not just an ordinary tailor, he was known for his extraordinary skill in creating garments that were both beautiful and magical. His finest work was a cloak that shimmered like the night sky, with tiny stars woven into the fabric. It was said that this cloak held great power, but Finn had never sold it, waiting for the right person who truly needed its magic. One day, news spread throughout the kingdom that Princess Marin, the king's only daughter, had fallen under a terrible curse. She had been given an enchanted spindle by a wicked sorcerer, and when she pricked her finger on it, she fell into a deep sleep. The king's magicians tried everything to wake her, but nothing worked. The entire kingdom was in despair. The king, desperate to save his daughter, sent out a decree: anyone who could break the curse and awaken the princess would be rewarded with half the kingdom and the princess's hand in marriage. Many brave knights and wise scholars attempted to break the curse, but all failed. When Finn heard the news, he knew what he had to do. He took the starry cloak from its special place in his shop and set out for the royal palace. Though he was not a knight or a scholar, Finn believed in the magic of the cloak and his own courage. The journey to the palace was long, and Finn had to pass through the Darkwood Forest, a place known for its dangers and mysteries. As he entered the forest, he was met by a talking raven with feathers as black as night. "Where are you going, little tailor?" the raven croaked. "I'm going to the palace to save Princess Marin," Finn replied. The raven tilted its head and looked at the cloak in Finn's arms. "That cloak you carry is special. But beware, the Darkwood is full of tricks and traps. You will need more than just the cloak's magic." "I will be careful," Finn said. "Thank you for the warning." The raven cawed and flew off into the trees. Finn continued his journey, keeping his wits about him. Soon, he encountered a deep, swirling fog that covered the path. In the fog, he could hear strange whispers, telling him to turn back. But Finn wrapped the starry cloak around himself, and the stars on the cloak began to glow, lighting his way through the fog. The whispers faded, and Finn pressed on. Next, Finn came to a rushing river with no bridge or boat in sight. The river was too wide and too strong to swim across. As he stood at the edge, wondering what to do, he noticed a large, shimmering fish swimming close to the shore. "Why do you look so troubled, little tailor?" the fish asked. "I need to cross the river to reach the palace, but there is no way across," Finn replied. The fish flicked its tail and splashed the water. I will help you cross, but first, you must help me. There is a hook caught in my fin, and it causes me great pain." Without hesitation, Finn knelt down and carefully removed the hook from the fish's fin. The fish sighed with relief and smiled. "Thank you, kind tailor. Now, climb onto my back, and I will carry you across the river." Finn did as the fish said, and with a powerful leap, the fish carried him safely to the other side. Finn thanked the fish and continued on his way. Finally, Finn arrived at the royal palace. The king greeted him with a weary smile, though he doubted that a simple tailor could succeed where so many others had failed. Nevertheless, he led Finn to the chamber where Princess Maren lay, still under the curse. The room was dark, with thick curtains drawn to block out the light. Princess Maren lay on a grand bed, her face pale and her breathing shallow. The cursed spindle was placed on a pedestal beside her, still glowing with a malevolent light. Finn approached the princess and carefully draped the starry cloak over her. The stars on the cloak began to twinkle brightly, casting a gentle light over the room. As the light touched the cursed spindle, it started to crack and crumble until it dissolved into dust. The curse was broken, and Princess Maren's eyes fluttered open. She took a deep breath and looked around, her face lighting up with relief and gratitude. The king, overwhelmed with joy, embraced his daughter and turned to Finn. "You have done what no one else could," the king said. "You have saved my daughter and our kingdom. As promised, you shall have half the kingdom and the princess's hand in marriage." But Finn, humble as ever, shook his head. "I'm honored by your offer, your majesty, but I'm just a tailor. I have no desire to rule a kingdom or marry a princess. All I wish is to continue my work and help those in need." The king was taken aback by Finn's modesty, but he respected the tailor's wishes. "Very well, Finn. You may keep the starry cloak, and you shall be rewarded with a chest of gold. Our kingdom will always be in your debt." Finn thanked the king and Princess Maren, and after a grand celebration, he returned to his little shop at the edge of the marketplace. The starry cloak was placed back in its special place, waiting for the next time its magic would be needed. And so, the brave little tailor lived happily ever after, content with his simple life, knowing that true courage and kindness are the greatest treasures of all. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale.